Welcome back to Fox's channel. Have a nice day and enjoy this recap fantasy movie. This film tells a young man who has a magical eye lens, a gift from a mysterious person. The strength of a magic eye lens is able to see detailed things, such as seeing things that cannot be done by ordinary people. Also, there are many other forces that must be mastered to save others. And the thing that you want is also most important for men around the world is able to see transparent objects. Yeehaw! Starting in a suburban village, a young man named Yaoming was 20 years old. From a poor family was riding a bicycle on a sunny day. Yao's life is sometimes difficult because they have to face gangster groups formed by 4 brands who like to do violence and extortion. So Yaoming must stop waiting until they leave because they don't want problems with this gang. But this gang goes to make a problem by bullying the old man who sells antiques on the side of the road. They ask for money by force. If not, it will destroy anything that is there. Yaoming, who couldn't stand it, tried to tell him to leave, don't bother the old man. But that bullshit for this gang, and would beat Yaoming. So Yaoming is fighting, even though he is aware of being beaten. Yaoming can only surrender when they are both bullied. So he has an idea to shout, to invite everyone to buy items that Oldman sells. Finally, the plan was successful. Even one of the senior gangster members approached and gave advice not to take the goods or disturb the efforts of the poor. If not, he would beat them all. The old man was grateful to have saved him, but Yaoming realized the reason for not feeling pain when beaten with stones, because the glasses that resisted the attack earlier. As a thank you, the old man gave a pair of soft lenses before he left and disappeared in light. Then Yaoming woke up because he heard a noise from the outside, which turned out to be a Brandel gang bullying his father. Yaoming tried to help, but instead slapped by his father, told to leave, not to interfere with this problem. Yao returned to the room very annoyed, and when opening the bag, realized that the lens of the eye was real, not just a dream. Then remember the mysterious Oldman words. To try to wear the lens changed his eyesight and giving strength. Feeling as a superhuman, Yaoming immediately went to find a Brandel gang who happened to be on the road. Yaoming tried to attack many times, but the attack always missed because the eye lens was too zooming. From afar, a young man watched the incident, then spurred his car to approach with full speed, stop right in front of them to save Yaoming, and leave the prize of smoke carbon dioxide. Yaoming thanked men for helping him, but for not being able to control that power so that seeing all the vehicles very close made him confused and dizzy. Until finally, Yaoming threw up alongside the road, then tried to check his eyes, but did not find anything wrong. Then, a beautiful girl named Mengyan, who was the most beautiful girl in school, made all men fall in love. But Yaoming was self-aware and simple wooden dolls. Mengyan will definitely reject it. Even reject it, not interested in fake Spider-Man who tries to give a gift. Then there was an announcement so that some students gathered, including Yaoming. He saw the skirt of the girl students, so Yaoming intended to help him, but instead made the girl angry. Yaoming reads the announcement, which turns out to be about free scholarships, as well as students who qualify will get 8,000 yuan monthly money. Then, the girls looked excited because a handsome man named Wang, who was also a student there. It turns out that Yaoming must be in a class with the Brandel gang, who's always looking for problems by bullying one of the students, and Yaoming can't do anything. Fortunately, Wang came to handle them. Then Mingyan came into the classroom, made the men fascinated, including Yaoming, who suddenly the lens of the eye was an error. So he saw something that kept growing. Then, May to explain the scholarship registration procedure. And when he approached, suddenly one of them was surprised to make Yaoming fall accidentally with the girl's skirt. Obviously, it made May to be so angry, slapping as hard as possible. Wang tried to explain by lying to make up if Yaoming deliberately did it to win the color of guessing the color of the panties. This made she hate him even more. It turned out that the handsome man who helped Yaoming before was a new teacher at a school called Liboliang, who was charismatic to make all girls fascinated. For the sake of the scholarship, Yaoming must be eager to study, but he fell asleep. When the distribution of scholarship forms, Yaoming did not get the file because she was still angry. But Yaoming was not out of ideas by trying to copy it. The next day, Yaoming tried to collect forms, but was rejected because, according May, the form was fake. It made him upset by tearing the paper in front of the cheeks. Yaoming was still lucky, because Li met him to give the original form, so there was an opportunity to get a scholarship. On the other place, Wang seemed to like May by trying to approach him, but May didn't really respond to it. Finally, Yaoming finished filling in the scholarship form file, with enthusiasm to give the form in May. Then, a student told that Teacher Li was waiting for Yaoming at the school lab, and May heard the conversation. Out of curiosity, May went to the lab, which, at that was darkroom, scared him, ran to return to class. But she instead collided with Yaoming, and something pleasant happened. "You're lucky, bro." Obviously, this makes May very upset, and Yaoming is also confused why May can be here. Then Wang appeared to invite May to leave. Yaoming met the teacher, but apparently Li did not invite him, and he realized there might be someone who snapped him. Li reminded to learn more diligently so he could get a scholarship. When going home suddenly, Yaoming seemed to lose his direction to fall. He feels something wrong with his eyes because of the use of the lens of the gift from mysterious old men. Li then tried to check his eyes but did not see anything wrong. Then Li did the treatment method by attaching something to make Ming feel better, but instead became like a thief, or more precisely like raccoons. Then Li gave sunglasses to cover it. When Yaoming was eating at a roadside food stall, a rather strange girl appeared, seeing that some young men tried to tease by force. Then Yaoming immediately helped and carried him away. After successfully escaping, the girl suddenly opened the glasses and laughed at Yaoming, like raccoon. Before going, she rubbed Yaoming's face, and suddenly, something strange happened. The next morning, Yaoming heard the sound from inside his head. Suddenly, everything shook, and he entered the virtual world he had never seen. This was confused. Then, a beautiful girl named Alpha appeared. Alpha explained that this room was formed due to the magic lens used by Yaoming, and now she is willing to serve his needs. The effect of the use of the eye lens makes Yaoming can have superpower. And to activate other strength features, the user of the magic eye lens must activate it himself, like one of the zoom power that has been actively makes Yaoming see anything, can be very detailed. Then, the rented owner came to collect the arrears of rent to Yaoming. Father named Sahai, unfortunately. Sahai still did not have the money to pay it. Seeing this, Yaoming said that he promised to pay debts from the 3-month scholarship results at once. Then, he saw the woman's pants torn due to being chased by a dog. Then, Yaoming called a dog to scare him. Yaoming told his father to try to get money from a scholarship and pay his rented debt. Then, with his strength, he could find the lost object. Teacher Li explained that anyone who could qualify for the Hero program would get an 8,000 yuan scholarship as well as a work contract at Megacoin, with the requirements to pass the test stages that must be completed properly, namely memory tests, physical resistance, psychology, as well as other additional tests. The first test begins with each must take the lottery paper. When it was Yao Ming's turn to take the lottery, the ability to touch to be active. This skill he was able to know something only with a touch, that according to Alpha, this power was the lowest skill. Obviously, Yao Ming chose a scroll of paper with the easiest question. Suddenly, Yao Ming returned to the virtual room. Then Alpha explained that every program feature in the body system Yao Ming, and there was a size pretense in the use of strength. Then, Ming practiced other strength features, such as seeing high-speed objects to analyze it. Now the ability has reached 35% active. Then he tried to do zooming, find something interesting, and unfortunately, the curtain must be closed. In class, each student starts finding out the answers from the scrolls they get because the first test has begun. It turned out that the question from the rolls related to memory from the classroom made them confused because the time that was limited to remembering all objects. After the time was finished, they were preparing to wait for their turn, and the first participant named Zhang Bin got a question about the number of computers there. But the answers were wrong. The question continued to each student. Unfortunately, many failed in this first test, until finally Mei passed after answering correctly. Then it was Yao Ming's turn. He got a question. Who was the farthest person when the test earlier? Obviously, this was a difficult problem. Then Ming opened the memory to turn back time and then analyze the distance of each student. And the result was Mei. All looked doubtful with the answer. So Teacher Li played CCTV video recording. And the answer was correct, so that Yao Ming passed the first stage of the test. The sequel hero test is the speed of response. Then Yao Ming trains his body by using a bouncing ball, despite initially difficult. Finally, he can practice the speed of response very well. The body response speed exam turned out to be related to the ping pong match. It was seen that Mei were still annoyed with Yao Ming because of previous events such as seeing underwear or kiss incidents. This test, Yao Ming must be very careful to see the small writing on the ping pong ball, which is clear anyone must be. This is impossible. Moreover, he is cheated because he has been arranged by Wang by telling Fat Boy to make his writing more mini, especially when the ball is moving quickly. But finally, Yao Ming was able to see that the writing answered him correctly, so that makes everyone wonder. Yao Ming is grateful for providing an easy test also thanks to the help from Alpha. It turns out that Wang is the son of a businessman who owns almost all the shares in this school. It was seen that Wang told the principal to change the rules of the Hero Scholarship Program test, according to what he wanted. Elsewhere, the gang of rascals were gathering and were disturbed when they saw other people happy, so they seized Zhang's motorcycle, which had not been paid in installments for 15 years. Luckily, Ming was there, trying to stop them. It turned out that they sent by Wang to let Yao Ming be wretched and not pass the test. Wang scolded them because always failing in performing tasks. Then Wang went to Yao Ming to give an invitation for information about the next test, which turned out to be a dance test. In this test, all aspects are assessed, including dance movements to clothing worn. And most importantly, those who do not have a dance partner will be immediately disqualified. Wang cheated by telling the gang that all the students there were bullied, so that no one wanted to be Yao Ming's partner. The magic eye lens also affects his physical abilities, making him become more and more powerful and macho. Yaoming tried to find a suitable outfit by quietly going into his father's room, but not the right one. Then, she has to go to the fashion store, choose a good and cheapest clothes. Until finally, Yaoming get the cheapest good clothes. Unfortunately, while trying on clothes, the money fell into the next room, and he attempted to pick it up, which turned out to be Mei, who was trying on clothes. She looked annoyed to suspect Yaoming had peeked out from below, and accidentally Yaoming stepped on his clothes, and finally,